Morning everyone, welcome back. We're going to work on some informational, instructional videos here first. Eventually we're going to have a bunch of training sessions that you can see things how in real time and stuff like that. But this first couple sessions we're going to show you some, like I say, today we're going to do shoulders and triceps and show you some different exercises that for a beginner, not so much all beginner, but it's how to get into like your shoulders and triceps for width, overall size and stuff like that. We've been getting some questions and as far as how to widen your shoulders, as far as can you widen your shoulders or width of your body type. So that's basically, we're going to do some of that stuff today, and then also we're going to do some mass exercises. First exercise we're going to start out with is we're going to do a military press on the Smith machine in the back. So let's take off. Now the only thing I want to stress is make sure in any of this exercise that you do here is you warm up intensively, especially your elbows and stuff like that. The older you get, you'll understand that, but that's what I can't stress that enough. Everybody comes in here and thinks just start throwing shit around, and that, like I say, when you're young you can do that somewhat until something happens, and then once something happens, then you know that sets you back. So make sure you come in here. I do a ton load of warming up first, a lot of exercise. I'll show you a little bit of what I do, just basically, but we're not going to waste time showing you how I warm up, because I mean that's boring. So basically we're going to get going here. I'm going to show a couple sets, and then we're going to go back and show you. So basically what I'll do is I'll come in, I already did my, like I say, some of my stuff. I do rotator cuff exercises. We'll do that, loosen that up, and then I'll just grab like 5s or whatever and just work on just getting the shoulders kind of pretty warmed up, which I've already done probably 10 minutes of just nothing but that. Nowadays I don't do a lot of super heavy pressing anyway, so majority of everything I do is I pre-exhaust my shoulders first and then go to the more of the mass building exercises, and then I'm fatigued, so I don't have to worry about going extremely heavy, which I don't do that anymore anyway. But what we're trying to do here is force as much blood as you can into your shoulders. Blood volume is the key in all of this stuff. Blood's your friend. So I mean, this is one reason why when you come in here, you don't want to be like I just came and had breakfast. If I just came here right now and had breakfast, my blood would be working on my digesting my food instead of pumping the blood into the body part. You know, so what you're going to do is your heart's pumping blood in there, and that's where you're going to get that pump. It's called the pump, or the swelling. That's from basically water. You want to make sure you stay hydrated, drink a lot of water. If you're not hydrated when you come in here, if you're dehydrated, you're not going to get a good pump. It's as simple as that. So like I say, what I'll do is I'll do a set of that, and then I'll just move up and do a couple more, and then that's the way I go. Just make sure you're breathing up, letting out. You don't need to make a bunch of noise. Now these here, like I said, the ones I'm doing right now are just like for width, pretty much, but more or less just to kind of loosen up the shoulders. Like I said, I already did quite a bit, so I'm good to go. All right, let's go in the other room. Okay, here we go. We're going to do that first exercise. Now, this is basically a compound exercise, which is a mass exercise. Your shoulders are your key to strength. If you want to get strong, you've got to have strong shoulders, especially in benching or anything like that. So basically what we're going to do here is we're going to come in here and do a shoulder press. It's called Smith machine. It's assisted, like I say, it's got safety hooks on it. It makes things a little bit safer. Get yourself good back support. You can do these if you want to do them standing, variation-wise, but I would never do them because it's just I like to have the stability for my lower back, like I say. So basically you're going to come in here, get your bar set. Grips are going to vary, everybody's different. I mean, I wouldn't go too much more than, if you're going to go too much closer to your shoulder, that might be a little, I mean, it just matters what you want. And you can go a little bit wider if you want. Some guys are way out here. The more you go out, the more stress you're going to have on your outer shoulders and the more possible damage. So basically you want to come down about right here. You'll see some guys doing this. You want to get down here and then back up. You don't need to go all the way up, but you just want to make sure you get a good rep. Constant tension on the shoulders at all time. You're not going to see me doing a lot of weight. It's pretty hard to do weight and talk at the same time. So basically, just for these first videos or whatever, eventually we'll go into showing some more hardcore training. So basically what you're going to do is say four sets of this exercise, and you're doing 8 to 12 reps. Meaning I'm going to do like the first one would be 12. I'm kind of loosening up, and then you want to work yourself up to 8. Meaning 8 is going to be your last heavy set. So basically, what we're going to do is you're going to get here, and then on these exercises here, you're probably going to want to give yourself probably 3 minutes rest in between a set, so that we're looking for power and strength. So you're not looking for, as far as you don't want to go and worry about your timing. You're here for strength, so it takes like 3 minutes, or make sure at least you're not breathing hard. If you're not breathing hard, you're probably ready to go. Basically, again, all you're going to do is get comfortable with your hand grip. Now, there's 2 different types of grips here. I'm a big thumbless grip guy, but a lot of times now I would probably suggest you go the full wrap this way. This bar is a little bit more safer, but I was always a thumbless guy because it feels like you can get under the bar a little bit better. So, and then you just come down nice and easy, push it out. As you're going up, you're letting your air out, keeping your breath. See, I'm not going all the way up. Sometimes I will, not all the way up, but I mean I'll go up to rest if I have to. But the main thing is just keep the bar moving. Nice contraction. All right, again, that would be like the first set, and when you'll see 4 other sets, and then like I say, we're not going to show you all this stuff just because of time. So basically, that's what you would do for the shoulder press. That would be our first mass exercise. As far as if you're coming in for, again, mass, if you're coming in and you're not into trying to get bigger, a lot bigger, then you can go to the machines. I believe that the free weights, you want to do a lot more free weights at the beginning, especially if you're younger. When you first come in here, free weights hit more of your stabilizer muscles instead of going and doing a machine. Now, again, it just matters what you want out of a workout, as far as that goes. So, like I said, this will be our first exercise for the shoulders today. I mean, not that every day I start with this, or whoever does whatever starts with this, but this will be the first one for now. Let's go up in the other room. Okay, the second thing we're going to do today is we're going to work on this next exercise is going to be a little more for width. So do a side lateral raise. You got 3 heads in your shoulder, your front, your side, your posterior, which is your back, which a lot of people sometimes neglect that because you can't see it, but you still need to work it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you there are a couple different versions of the side raise, and then we're going to go over here. I'm going to show you an upright row for width, not an upright row. There's two different types of upright rows. I'm going to show you this first one for width. So again, basically what you're going to do, normally what I'll do is a lot of times I'll just start with go all the way up the rack here, and then when I get done, then I'll go all the way back down. Again, as much, as far as rep wise, as many reps as I can on each one, and just get as much blood in the shoulder as possible. Now what you want to do is you're keeping these weights are staying to your side. You don't want them out here, you want them right here, and you're going to bring them straight up. Bend your elbows a little bit. You don't need to go way up here, just kind of level it out. In the same way on the way down, you want to keep that little tension on the way down. So you're coming down and up and just pumping them up. And this will work on that anterior head and work on illusion of width. Now there's another version that you can do, which you kind of keep these out here a little bit farther about. These are a lot harder, and like I said, I'm going to drop some weight so I can show you, make sure I do them correctly. You're going to you kind of want to lean a little bit forward, and then you're keeping your arms down, and you don't want to shrug. You're not going to be able to take these up as high, the other ones, but these will work. Keep your hands back here and just throw the weight up. Again, that's for your side, and those, again, you're not going to be able to do as much weight. I mean, they're a little bit more intense. And with the side laterals, again, it has to do with your strength, but don't think you're going to come up here and just throw up the heavier weight. The main thing is keep everything strict in your form. So again, what we're going to do here, and I'm not going to go through all of it, but again, I do 4 sets of 8 to 12. Again, basically going up and down, and then I may do a burnout where I just come grab, I'll go up to say the 35s, or say I'll come down here and do the 30s and do as many as I can. And then just keep going back down. Again, the main thing, the object of what we're doing here is to pump as much blood into our shoulders as we can. They're our side laterals. The other shoulders are going to secondary, they're going to get some, but we want to try and specify everything on your side. Normally I would go all the way, probably all the way down to 5s, but I'm not going to today. But just keep pumping. The same way on your way down, you're not seeing me just let them go. That's not what we're doing. It's nice control. Like that. Now, you can change the variation on these two by just your hand grip. You know, if you put your hands way up here, that's going to hit a little bit different. In the middle, out, it all, I mean, in a bunch of things, it's going to hit basically the same thing, but it's just something you can play with to see what you think feels the best. So now, another exercise that, again, if you're concentrating on doing width for your shoulders, you're going to want to do this upright row here. Now basically, this one here, you're going to go real wide. Get your hands real wide on this one. This is a real good old school exercise. And what you're doing with this, you bring it up. We're not, it's coming straight up my stomach into my chest. And that's it. Elbows are kicked back. And that's all I want right there. But we don't want it out here. You want it straight up. I'll drive the elbows up and back. And this will work, and this is another very good exercise for width. This would be a good exercise. Like I say, it'd be a good exercise to superset with those two. Now the other upright row, what brings in more your traps in the back and your mid back, is like this here. You're going to bring it up here, like so. Basically, you're going to have a little grip here. You're bringing it up underneath your neck. That's another row. But for today, that's what you want to do is leg row. All right, cut it there. Ready? All right, in this exercise here, we're also doing 4 sets of 8 to 12 again, and you can add weight accordingly. You can use deadlifting straps. When you get, I use deadlifting straps a lot. It helps you grip. Basically, when the heavier you get, the more you're going to need them, because your hands are going to give before the weight does. So it's just an insurance that you can get a little bit more out of each rep. So now we're going to move on to the next exercise. All right, now the next exercise we're going to do is another raise, shoulder raise. It's a front. We're going to do a front raise, which hits your front of your shoulders, and then we'll do a lateral, side lateral, which basically hits overall shoulders. And I'm just going to do them in a superset so you can kind of see what they are, and then we'll worry about that. So wait for time, but basically now this one here, you do want to stay forward in front here. This is where we want this one to start, not here. So you want to start here, and then you're just bringing them up more. Back here, up, up. Main thing is to keep, you don't want to be doing this. You want to try and keep everything straight. Boom, control it on the way down. Nice and easy. Remember, breathe. Again, 4 sets, 8 to 12 on these also. Then we'll go to the next exercise. I cut that. You might want to take. Okay, so basically, what we're going to do here now, the front raise. I'm going to show you that again. You can do with the bar, with the plate, kettlebells, whatever. It doesn't make any difference. But you can come up here. You'll see sometimes some guys do this, but you can do that too. The majority of the time I would right here. And again, the most important thing is controlling all the way down, just as much as controlling all the way up. And then, like I say, if you're going to superset them, you do as many as you can, and you go into, you can superset them with those or these. again, the main thing, the goal here is to pump as much blood into that area as possibly can and fatigue it. Take it to positive failure. Later on, like I say, if we're training in a session, you might have somebody give you some negatives, which we'll show you. I mean, it's just assist negatives if you want to go past failure or beyond failure. Basically means where you can't get by yourself. And for the person that wants to really get the most out of stuff, that's what we have to do. You have to take your last rep. You know, you don't come up here and you know, pick this weight and do 10 reps. I do my 10 reps or my 12 reps, go sit down, and you see everybody anymore sit down and they're on their cell phone or whatever. And I mean, if that's what you want out of it, that's fine. But if you really want something out of it, you know, if you really want what's going to work, you need to keep everything going. You do what you got, and then you move to the next set. Try and keep everything. These kind of exercises here, if you're working out with somebody, it's one right after each other. You really shouldn't wait more than 90 seconds on these exercises. You shouldn't have to. Now, like I say, with the press in the back, we were saying you're talking 3 minutes. So that's now, like I say, you can use the wheel. We call it the wheel. Just gotta grab one that's got the holes in it. It's a little bit easier to control, but whatever. So this is the same thing, shoulder raise. So basically you're coming up and down, same way. So whatever you want, you can use 25. I see, I mean, guys can do hundreds, it's whatever it is. But main thing again is, if you do something, don't be afraid to do different exercises. Try different things, but just make sure you do them correct. Your form is the most important thing in any of this stuff. Now the other thing I'm going to show you is it's called an Arnold press. And I see so many people doing this, 95% of them ain't doing it right anyway. So I'm going to show you this. Now this press here basically hits all front. This is like an all front head press. So if you want to try and just do, so you're basically starting right here. You're starting right with your arms like this, and then you're going straight up, and you're turning the weight. All right, back down here, back up. Now, what a lot of people do is they do this already up here. That's not what this is. Obviously, this is not an exercise that you're going to do 100-pound dumbbells with, because it isn't easy. But you don't want to do this, because that's not what we're doing. That's a shoulder press. All right, that's this. All right, so here you want the Arnold press is up, boom. You don't turn till you get up, boom, down, up. And that will hit nothing but front, head, shoulder. Again, find a weight that works for you. 48 sets of that. You can throw them in. You can do them with the superset. I'll do that, finish with that. Any way you want to do it. It doesn't make any difference. Now this shoulder press over here is basically the same thing. This is a good little shoulder press. Again, it's pretty much kind of mimics that a little bit, except your arms are a little bit further out. So you can go this way too. I don't like pressing too much like that because my left shoulder's a little screwed up. So you just kind of press it up and down. It sticks up and let your air out, and then down, up. It's like so. And that also would be a 4 to 8. 4 sets, 8, 12 rep ratio. All right, cut it there. Okay, the last thing I'm going to show you today on this segment as far as shoulders, there's a million more things we can show you, but I'm going to show you a couple rear delt, which is, again, back your shoulders. There's a couple different variations you can do, whatever works for you, comfortable. The old school way is you just get yourself bend here, your butt's back, and you're just like that. Bring your arms up, squeezing your back. Head down, just like that. Now, another way you can do it is you can take it and you fly out this way. I actually think this, myself, I feel this more here. Throw them out. You want to squeeze, make sure you get that squeeze and control all the way down. And you can also, this one here, you can also take them like here and go this way. A little bit more, you're leaning a little bit more. Your arms are going more out forward. Just play with it and see what you like. But those there, you can do them, or you can come on here. Now, say your lower back's bothering you, and just like any of this stuff, you want to isolate your back. So, I mean, you don't put, a lot of people have lower back problems or whatever, so there's a lot of exercises they can't do. So you come here, put your head on here, rest your head on here, and do the same thing. This way, it takes the stress off, a little bit less stress on your lower back if you're having back problems. Same way. Now that's called a rear delt raise. Like I say, there's a couple different variations you can do on cables. The other thing I'm going to show you is you can do, it's called a rope pull. You can superset these if you want. You don't have to. Again, find a weight that's comfortable for you. Put your arms up here. And just bring it back. Elbows out, squeeze. Squeeze. You want that thing almost hitting you in the forehead. You watch how my hands stay out and not in here. This way I can get that squeeze deeper, throw my elbows back. Now that's another good one you can do for rear delts. The upright roll that I showed you, that'll hit your rear delts, your trapezoids in the back. And the other thing, again for traps, some guys do traps with shoulders, some guys do them with back. Myself, I like to do them both off and on, but I think I like them a little bit more better with my back than shoulders. But I'll show you. This is just a regular shrug here. You're gonna come up, squeeze. There's a bunch of different variations that you can do, but this is kind of the safest. I got some neck problems, so I don't do anything stupid. I've had a couple neck surgeries, so I don't like to play games with my neck, so I don't go very heavy. It's more or less just an exercise to kind of control all the muscles under and behind there. And then the other thing you can do is you can do these behind. These are actually really good. Just by hanging them up here. You can do it with the bar too. It's easier with the dumbbells though. Same way. Again, 4 to 8, you can do whatever you want, and then you can do barbell shrugs, which is basically the exact same thing. That'll work your traps. Deadlifting will work your traps. We'll show that later on. Rack pulls or hit your traps. We'll show that later on. But that's the end of this sequel. Hope you learned something. Like I say, we'll be doing a little bit more hardcore stuff eventually here. Right now we're just going through, these are some of these questions that I was asked, so I'm going to filter through some of these. The people had questions about certain exercises and stuff, so I'm going to throw these in first and then we'll go from there. So I want to make sure we thank Brian and Janet for letting us use their gym. the edge. Today, like I say, he's opened up early so we can get in here and do a taping. You may see him along the future stepping in and showing us what everything's all about. So like I say, appreciate you viewing. If you have any questions, they're going to have a link to the bottom as far as an email. If you have any questions or any comments, hey, I'm free to hear anything you got to say. Have a good one. All right, the next session we're going to do here is we're going to go through some triceps. I'm going to show you some basic tricep exercises for your back of your arms. Again, your triceps, basically your biggest part of your arm. You got 3 heads on your tricep. Your elongated one, which there's certain exercises for that. The horseshoe, which is the back, there's certain exercises for that. So I'm going to show you probably 3 different exercises today and variations. And then in the future, we'll show you a bunch of different other stuff. It's just basically going to come down to time. We don't have time to sit here and show you 25 different exercises that you can do. But these exercises can be done by men or women. Any of this stuff I show you, number one thing is, for the women, even though it's changed over the years, it's fantastic how the women are now into this. They're understanding that just because you lift weights, you're not going to be this big monster unless you want to get the size. It's just not that easy. And women are starting to feel more comfortable coming in the gym, and that is very important. My wife's been doing this for years. My daughter trains. I mean, it's phenomenal that nowadays you see just as many women in the gym hitting hard than you do guys, and that's how things have changed. Even with older people, now they know the older people are in here. It's fantastic. So I'm going to show you a couple exercises here. Now, the main thing about your triceps, especially for me if you've done lifting as long as I have, you're going to have aches and pains, and your elbows are going to be shot. So, like I say, so basically I'll do a lot of warm-up stuff. So what I'll do here is I'll come and I'll just grab the lightest weight and just do some one arms. Get the blood in my elbows. And this is just a basic push down, but using it with one arm. You're going to basically, this here, like I said, I'm not using anything with here, I'm just holding this, make sure my arms stay, you're not seeing my wrist bend, keep that straight. You don't want that, that will cause wrist problems. I'm coming up, you want to make sure you come up enough to get that stretch. That stretch is important. You don't want to come here and do this. Up, all the way, stretch. Where my elbow is, that's what you don't want moving. You don't want this going. This is what you don't want. Now what's happening is my shoulder's helping. And I'm using my shoulder. I don't want that. So the arm stays glued. Press it down and back. Same way with this one. Now, again, I'm not going to go heavy. I'm just going to show you some. This is the front push down. Again, you can use, there's up to different kinds of angles you can use. We'll just use this one since it's hooked up. Okay, so your grip is about right here. Now this is called a thumbless grip. This is what I've used almost all my life, but I've done some reading on this, and they're saying that this does cause your elbows to even bother even worse. So they're saying that you should wrap your thumb. So I've been doing that a lot more instead of the thumbless. The main thing is to stay on top of the bar. You want to make sure that you're not like this. Okay. See how my wrists are bent? That is a total no-no. That is asking for trouble. So you want your hands on top, control this way. And what we're doing is you're pushing, nice and easy. I'm coming up and I'm squeezing. I'm not going here, I'm going away from my body. Okay, so I get that full extent, nice and easy. And you don't want to do this crap neither. You don't want to be snapping your elbows. Nice and easy. Fluent movement. Nice and easy. This is a push down. Realistically, you should probably start with these first. I mean, at least warm up with them. You don't. This is actually a real good finishing exercise also, but you want to make sure you warm up. I can't stress that enough. So normally I'll come in here and I'll do probably 10 sets of just nothing but warming up my elbows. Because once your elbows are like the key to everything. If your elbows are bothering you, there's a lot of things you're not going to be able to do. So if you have a bad case of elbow tendonitis or tennis elbow or whatever you want to call it, it sucks. So again, anywhere when I first come in, I'm warming up. So basically that's like, this is warm up weight for me. I'll do 25, 30, 40 reps. I mean, again, I'm trying to pump as much blood into my triceps as I can. That's the key. It's all about getting as much blood in there. Blood is your friend, so you're just getting in there. Now you see you don't want your feet way out here. Just get them nice, comfortable. Push the weight. There's a bunch of different variations you can do. The key is your elbows. Your elbows can't move. So you'll hit your triceps a little bit different this way. That's two different variations you can do. All right, let's go over here. Turn it off there. I'm going to show you two other exercises. One's a French press with the dumbbell. You can do this with the barbell also. But this is one of those exercises that if your elbows are bothering you, it's a no-no. So again, you need to play it, see what works for you. If it's something that's going to bother your elbows, then don't do it. There's other exercises to go to. So this is a real good mass exercise if done properly. Again, but the key again is as long as your elbows aren't. Now you're going to come down here. You want to try and keep your elbows in as much as you can, but they're going to flare out, and then back up as high as you can. Get that stretch down, up. Nice and easy. You don't want to do this. You want to make sure you don't hit yourself in the head. The heavier you get, but you want to make sure you get that stretch. The most important part on tricep exercises is the stretch. So you want to get that stretch. Now 4 reps, 8 sets of those. That's a real good exercise there for, again, mass exercises. And later on I'm going to explain to you the difference between the mass exercises and isolation exercises. So these are more bulk exercises. Now you can do a French press, which you can do with the bar, which I don't do anymore. I don't like it because this bothers my elbows big time. So I've switched and I just do dumbbells instead. But if you're going to do the bar, you're going to grip it here. Now again, the elbows is the key here. You can go here, up, tracking, make sure you don't knock yourself out in the head here. You can go back here too. The main thing is make sure your elbows, the elbows can't do this. Elbows have to stay stationary. Up, down, just like that. That's a variation with the bar, but I prefer to do the dumbbells. And you can use the kettlebells too. And with the dumbbells, you just grab the dumbbells. A little more. I'll show you the kettlebells too. I like the kettlebells a little bit better because it's a little bit better. But again, it's the same thing. I got your dumbbells here. You're coming down past your head. Get that stretch and back up. Nice and easy. Watch my elbows, they're not moving. You don't want this here. That's taking the, if you keep your elbows straight, the only thing you should be moving is your forearm up. You can have a little bit of movement, but the main thing is to keep it going a certain way. Again, 4 to 8 reps of those, 4 sets of those, 8 to 12. But you want to make sure, again, I can't stress it enough, that you do the push downs first before you start in on that stuff. Now, here's the kettle. You can use the kettlebells. Basically the same thing. You just turn them like this. Get a good stretch down. Again, stretch up. Same way. These are very good exercises for the back of the tricep, your horseshoe, and the elongated. Let's get that stretch. Builds that long head of the tricep. Three different variations of that, same exercise. The only other thing that you can do, that you can change, is the height of the bench. You can do incline. Decline is actually the best way to do them because it correlates all three kind of the heads. I think you get a little bit more out of doing decline ones. So like the decline bench is in there, so a lot of times I don't feel like walking all the way in there, so I'll just do them on here. It just matters how I feel, but those two exercises are really good as far as two good exercises you can do to work on your triceps that don't take a long time. I mean, the main thing, like I say, is to warm up with those. All right, just cut it right there. Okay, the last exercise I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a little rope extensions. I'm going to show you a couple different variations of this here. Again, you want to get yourself set, bring this down, and squeeze them out. You can do them this way here, but you get a little bit more if you just bring it down, kick, back up, get that stretch, back down. This is a real good finishing exercise to get when you want to get at the end of you want to pump as much blood in your triceps as you can. And then you can do, there's, like I say, a variation of this from here. Do as many as you can there. You can do a drop set where you go up heavier, drop back down. I'm not going to again show you go through a bunch of different ones. Just give you the kind of idea today. And then you can come over here and just do like it's almost like a close grip bench. You can do this on your just to get another finishing pump. Again, another way just to get as much blood as you can in your triceps as you possibly can. Just keep your elbows in. So basically that's, like I say, those are just some standard stuff that people are asking about. Like I say, the tricep, the one arms, the push downs, that'll work that back end. Some people, they want that a little bit thicker arm in the back, tighten up their arm, that'll do that. Real good exercises. Like I say, the other main thing I again stress enough is just loosen up and don't get crazy with the weights. But you'll see, like I say, everything works. Like I say, if you use your form and keep everything straight. So that's going to be it for today. This is Jerry Cravatta signing off. And again, I want to thank Brian and Janet for letting us use the Edge today to record. And we will catch you again. Have a good day.